Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Set Free, the YouTube channel powered by Corpex Consultants. Today, I'm very excited to be having a very special guest. His name is Blessmore Mandevhana. Yes, it's a guy again, and he's a Zimbabwean young guy, and he's someone I also know on a personal level. He's an author of 7 books, and he's a motivational speaker, a business and leadership coach, and he's doing it all at a young age. Welcome to the show, Blessmore.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today, Wazanai.
So I'm going to start about how we know each other. You know, I know your dad, when we were growing up, he was the reverend at our church. And
yeah, sure.
At some point again, we were at the same school, same high school, and you were my junior. And then we were obviously going to the same church again when we became, a bit much more mature youths. And I wanted to ask you, because I've known you having that Christian background, would you say you opening your publishing house Beyond Today, which you say has published over 100 books, was it your faith that made you realize that dream?
Yeah, it was my faith that made me realize that dream. Though I didn't have that vision of opening a publishing house. Mm-hmm. At first, I wanted to start a different thing altogether that I wanted to do. But me as an author, I then identified certain areas that young authors are facing. Then I decided to open a publishing house where I can assist the young authors, upcoming authors who want to publish their works. So my faith helped me to start a publishing house, and definitely we've published more than 100 books, and I'm happy that we have published even some of the books. They are not local books from Zimbabwe. They are from other countries. Uganda, we have Tanzania, we have Botswana, and South Africa so far.
Wow. So what is it? Tell me what it is that you wanted to do first in the beginning. What did you want to be?
You know, when you grow up, you say, I want to be a pilot, I want to be an engineer. But I then identified that my passion is, I'm passionate into writing and speaking. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm good at. So I then decided to, when I went to university, I did IT and business management. Mm-hmm. That's the degree that I did. So I wanted to work at a firm like Econet, Tier 1, other big firms where I'll be doing network engineering. But that was not my strength. My strength is into writing, into motivational speaking. That's where I am. That's why I started events management company where we do leadership training, business training, public speaking training. Then at the same time we do publishing.
Okay, I want to go back to the fact that you're a PK, a preacher's kid. Who would you say then inspired you on this, leadership and business route? Who are you looking up to for that? Besides you going for business as a minor.
All right. Being a leadership, being into leadership and into business coaching, I was looking up to, I'm always inspired with our church leaders. Mm-hmm. Definitely. When I see, I remember when we attended conferences, district conferences, annual conferences, where we see the bishops and the pastors, mm-hmm. They're leading the crowd. But so I used to tell myself that I will be one of those guys one day. I will be leading the crowd. But leadership comes in different forms or in different ways. Yeah. So I then decided, no, this is not my area. I cannot be my dad. My dad is my dad. I'm a product of my dad. So I have to do what I can do, what I'm able to do. So that's why I started a leadership company where we decided to know we want to go out there, we want to help the young people, we want to motivate the youth that they can do it despite having challenges. Because one thing that I believe is money does not build a house, but an idea does. So long as you have an idea, it means you can do something with your life.
Okay, so which then brings me up again back to the fact that you're PK and you decided to go a different route, and you're the first son.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know how it is. People, even society, they just expect you to, remain in the church and the faith and, go on that route. So did you ever face any criticism? It's easy, as a PK for you to decide to go on a different route. Did you ever criticize them for not wanting to be, a pastor? And yet you're the first son as well. Every father wants their first son to be just like them, and society as well. I thought you were going to be, I confess, I'm a pastor. So how did you handle that?
Yeah. Okay, that's a difficult one, but let me say, when I started, I think just after high school, or when I was in Form 5, that's where I started. I was an evangelist at my school, so I could even get invitations to preach at other schools when I was in Form 5, Form 6. Then after A level, I then got a position in church, district level, where I was the evangelist chairperson, and I could preach at all nights, conventions, and so most of the people they thought that I was going to be a pastor. Even myself, there was some time where I had that push that I have to go into ministry, but my dad is one of a person who didn't even encourage me to. He wanted me to finish school first, then if I want to pursue, then I pursue the ministry line. But one thing that I can say is criticism I faced. Why? Was most people, they wanted me to be a pastor. Two, now most people now they're now seeing me doing a different thing. I'm now in a different area. Then I remember I was having a meeting with other pastors, and I said, the ministry that I want is not for me having a parish where I'll be ministering, but I want a ministry where I can do my things, but without having a parish. So long as our church doesn't have that kind of ministry, I'm not going to get into ministry. That's why I decided to start the leadership and business, where I will do my own things. I'll be having people coming in, we do the leadership trainings, we do the business trainings, then we go. But our church now doesn't allow us you have to have a parish first, then you have to serve the parish for certain years, then you then go and do your things. Then that's not how we are. We are now living in an era which is different from way back.
And true. And because being in ministry was sort of the most familiar ground for you. So when you started out in this leadership training and coaching, did you ever experience the imposter syndrome, to feel like, this is, not good enough or anything? And how did you, overcome that imposter syndrome?
All right. And at university we used to do presentations. That's when I started. And my first presentation, I was invited at Nyaradzo after I launched my first book, What is the Answer? So I was invited at Nyaradzo, where I had to present and explain some of the principles that are in the book. So when I was presenting at Nyaradzo, I don't want to lie to you, that was horrible. I didn't do because I was preaching. I'm used to preaching, so I was preaching. So it was horrible. But as time goes, I began even myself through the presentation that we used to do at school. I began I was now training. I was training myself. Then I decided to attend a certain academy which helped me to nurture more my skills. Then I started to have invitations. Now I'm growing. I started to even plan my own events where I could go outside the town, outside of Harare. So far in Zimbabwe, we have held more than 50 conferences that we have hosted. So by then and experience, then things started get moving on its own.
Yeah. So I guess it's safe to say that even if you feel the imposter syndrome, it's just best to just take it head on and continue doing it and doing it and doing it. I myself would want to speak on the fact of actually even starting this show. Like you feel a sort of certain pressure, am I, a certain, you want to be perfect. But then I told myself that, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to have to do this thing online. I'm going to have connection problems. I don't know how to do captioning as yet. Video editing is a problem. I don't know how many times every time I do a recording, I can render a video with an awesome intro and outro, and it doesn't work out. I remember last week after I had struggles with my guest from the previous week for connection. And then after that, I didn't have any connection to be able to upload in time, but I had to say, you know what, I'm going to keep on going. I'm not going to cancel it for next week or anything. I'm just going to do it, So I think I do concur with what you're saying, that you just have to keep on doing it until you're very comfortable in that. You just have to, if you're passionate about it, you just have to keep on going through it. And you've spoken about some of the unlimited discoveries that you're experiencing right now by overcoming your limiting belief of thinking that you were just meant for the ministry and not, necessarily just that leadership. Maybe people would want to have an idea of, the life that you're living in at now, the impact that you have now. How do you feel about it, and all of that?
Okay, definitely. Right. I'm one person who is happy with what I'm doing. When I started, I actually faced criticism whereby people were saying, go and look for a job, go and do this, go and do this. So my first years after graduating were difficult because people wanted me to get employed to a certain company, you see. Yeah. I don't know which company was that, which was going to pay me. So what I did, I started applying for jobs. I don't want to lie to you. I remember I worked for a certain organization, but the longest time that I worked was 3 months. That was the longest time that I worked. Why? Because I could feel that I'm not delivering my best. So I have to go where I can deliver my best. So now the life that I'm living right now, I don't want to lie to you. I'm living a life where I'm comfortable with anything. Right now, if we plan an event right now, we want to go to Victoria Falls. No one can stop us. We don't have to apply for leave for off day to someone, but we just go because we have an event in Victoria Falls, right? Again, I know it's difficult when you're starting a business. You face criticism. Financially, you won't be stable and all of those things. That's why I want you to see. We now have a publishing company. At the same time, we have events management company. The publishing company sustains the events management company. Especially at this moment, we are in this pandemic. We are having people who are coming to publish their books, and that publishing is helping the events management. At the same time, before the pandemic, the events, they were able to fund themselves because we could go wherever we want. Our last event was in Zambia, in Malawi, sorry, where we had a very, very successful event. And we are living a life that we want. And one thing that I want to tell you is 3 years, 4 years from now, we'll be global. That's beyond today for you. We'll be everywhere. In this world. Because right now we are having many people coming from different nations, though we are still doing it online. But would you have even promises that no, after this pandemic, we want you to come to Brazil. After this, we want you to come to Canada. All those things, they could actually tell you, no, there is something, there is light where we are going. And we are living a life that even now my family, my friends, they're not. Okay. So I was saying my family, my friends, almost people around me, they now see where I'm going. They now see the vision. So they are now saying, no, let's leave this guy and he needs our support. Let's support him, let him do whatever that he wants to do. Because definitely, if we give him time, it means a few years from now, us as the family will be benefiting from me as well. So there's no need for them to suppress my vision. And the other thing that I've noticed is people without the vision or the idea, they suppress someone who has the vision and the idea. And if you're weak, then you are going to die prematurely.
I think very much so, and I actually admire the fact that you are working towards, talking about leadership and business coaching, especially with the youth, because I really believe that because of that expectation that you were also facing, that you have to be employed, you have to go through school, you have to be employed. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but if you believe that you are meant for more, I think it's very important. And I think also making the parents also know that, that this is a good thing. We are supposed to invest in leadership. I think Africa is where it is today and still being regarded as the third world because of leadership issues. And I think it's very important that generations that are coming up need to be taught on leadership, what it's all about. It's not about just you having the right connections, but it's about you pursuing a purpose, genuinely caring about people and all of that. So I think leadership is a topic that needs to be discussed everywhere, and I think you are doing a great job about it. In what we're talking about, you're showing like your passion about publishing, why necessarily publishing, and under Beyond Today, the publishing side of it, is there a specific genre that you focus on in case there's someone else who's watching, who's sitting on an idea of the book that they want to write? They want to look for the proper, publisher, especially the youths who can, publish their book or the idea that they have. So maybe just speak a little bit about it. Why publishing? Publishing is usually done by people who are older. I have to say, much older from my experience. And are there specific genres that you say, we want our publishing house to be known for this?
All right. Okay. The reason why I'm into publishing, like I said before, is I'm an author, and I've wrote 7 books, and I have the 8th one, which is coming. So, publishing my first 2 books was a challenge for me. I had to go through self-publishing because approaching the publishing companies, the fairs, and I could see, if someone in Zarabani or someone in outskirts where there are no resources, how can he publish his work or your work, while it's the fairs that are being asked by well-known publishing companies, they are not even at stake. So I decided, no, I want to start a publishing company. So when I start a publishing company, I'm going to cater for everyone. I cater for the disadvantaged, I cater for the advantaged. Wow. Because one thing that I want, the packages that we offer, we have the list package, which costs $20. That's the list, which means everyone can afford. Then we have the package that costs $1.2. You see, so everyone is being catered for. So we have different packages. So an individual can choose the package which he wants, to publish his book with us. So the main reason why I'm publishing is I want to help upcoming authors. They have to, because many people, they have, I remember if you listen to Dr. Moses, he always says that knowledge and wisdom, most of the knowledge and wisdom are in the graveyard. Why? Because most people who are in the graveyard right now, they are buried with their wisdom and their knowledge. They didn't publish. So I'm there to help those who want to publish their work, despite how bad it is. Who help you to nurture your work to be good and to be appreciated in the world.
Wow.
Right now we are opening avenues where we want even our work that we publish here in Zimbabwe go everywhere. We have the book that we recently published called The Album, which was endorsed by Dr. Stephen Masiwa. And for me, I'm being humbled when Dr. Stephen Masiwa endorsed the book that I published.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do. We just want to help people who cannot publish their work. We just want to help everyone so that their voice can be heard through writing. At the same time, I want to answer this statement that you said that publishing is being most of the people who are into publishing are old and stuff. Same as leadership. If you look at leadership, us in Africa, we believe that wisdom starts at 40, at the age of 40.
Yeah.
That's Africa for you. So the reason why I have researched, and I have quite a number of publishing houses that I have researched, and definitely what you are saying is very true. That most of the company owners, publishing owners, they are 40 and above, 55 and above. But we are coming with the technological side, which those guys are lacking now.
Yeah.
That's where we are coming in. Because I remember I published the book of Dr. Kadenge. He's around 65, if not 70, right? And when I was reading his book, I would actually feel that no, this book is too heavy. It's too big for me. You see. But I had to work on the book that even other people's right now, pastors, they're now coming in. No, they want to publish books. That's why, because of the quality that we're doing. Again, publishing houses, one thing that I want you to know is they take long to publish people's work. So 6 months, you are publishing one thing. But us, 2 weeks, 2 days, it depends with the load that we have. 2 days, we are done. Your book is registered. Everything is now available. Your book is out.
Wow.
Listen, that's how we are penetrating the world with. We are penetrating, we are competing with other publishing houses. Because right now, as we speak, we are now almost on the 4th position in Zimbabwe. In Africa, I don't know. But in Zimbabwe, we are now on the 4th position. And we are aiming very high. And we are working very hard that we become the first.
Wow.
So that's how we are penetrating the publishing industry, the publishing side.
That's great, eh? So tell me, what to you is in the power of reading? Because most people, I'm mostly into marketing, and we are believing in the power of video. And
okay.
Yeah. So I just want to also hear, but I'm still a book reader. I'm not so much into ebooks. I actually want my hard copy, and but I just want to hear from you. What to you is in the power of reading?
Wow, I don't want to lie to you. Reading is awesome. It opens eyes for you. You get to see what's beyond if you read. Just recently, even if I ask you a question, do you know where Butter Shoe Company originates from?
No.
But if you ask most Zimbabweans right now, they will say the company is a Zimbabwean-based company. Its headquarters is in Gweru. Recently, when I was reading, I find out that Butter Shoe Company is in Malaysia. Butter Shoe Company is in China. So, but we don't have the resources. We didn't read about it. So we just say it's in Gweru, yet it's in China. At the same time, I was reading about something which I was laughing at some weeks ago. I stumbled an article which was saying Zimbabwe was not the breadbasket of Africa. Yet, when we went to school, we were told that Zimbabwe was the breadbasket of Africa. Yet it was not even the breadbasket of Africa. But it only supplied Southern Africa. But if you don't read now, you won't know those things. Whatsoever that are being taught, and you keep those things and say, no, now, I think that's why you see, when you go for a degree, the level of thinking changes. When you go for a master's, then when you go for a PhD, that's how it does. But one thing that I want to say is, when you read, your eyes are opened. You begin to see things that are beyond. Because right now, I'm now reading everything. I read history, I read geography. I just want to see what's happening in geography. I just want to know more what's happening. That's why I remember the other time I was invited at another organization where I was where I was going to do a strategic coaching, and it's a bank. But if you don't know anything about banks, what are you going to teach them? So you have to read. So I read everything whatsoever. If I see an article from Kenya, I read those articles. Why? Because one day I know I'll be in Kenya. So I'll be speaking to Kenyans where I will be on the same level with them. I don't have to be a foreigner. Yet, we have resources in articles.
Wow.
So I advise people that they have to read, because wisdom and knowledge comes from reading. It comes through reading. It doesn't even mean you don't have to. You have to read only. You see, people, they now read romantic novels. That's what they want, romantic novels, and they are good in that area. But go to the other areas, they don't know anything.
Oh my gosh, yeah, true. Okay, so you're young. I think you're in your late 20s, 30s. I don't know your precise age. What do you think, are the limiting beliefs in young adults, blocking them from entrepreneurship and leadership? What do you think are those common mindsets that they have, especially here in Africa?
Okay, here in Africa, we are facing a challenge where if you don't have money, or if you're coming from a poor background, then you say, I can't do this. That's the belief that we have. I can't do this. 1, 2. I remember I was having some challenges. I was having a conversation with my wife. So
why are you laughing? Because it's still new.
Yeah, it's still new.
Okay, congratulations, by the way.
No, thank you so much. So we're having a conversation, and I was saying to her that it's not everything that you are supposed to have at the moment. Why? Because right after 4 or 5 years, that thing that you're crying for won't be available on market. At the same time, my sister, I want to tell you a testimony. This is a testimony. My sister came to me last year and said, help me with $100. I want to start a company. I loved, the reason why I loved it, she owns an iPhone, which costs more than $400. So why are you seeking $100 instead of you go and sell that and start your business?
Yeah.
And right, she only did that only last week. Last week, that's why she sold her phone, because no one can give you such kind of money. So she sold her phone. She right now she bought whatsoever that she wanted, and things are flowing.
Wow! And actually,
that iPhone that she was so clinged to, she's going to buy an expensive iPhone, which is more than the iPhone 7 that she was using. So sometimes it's the vision that you have to see that is beyond. So Africans sometimes, or young people, sometimes we tend to run for things that are not of value or of less value, yet there are many things that we can actually achieve.
Wow. That's deep. And I think good thing, because I think when you actually invest in something, you are a bit much more accountable to it. You take care of it. I'll tell you a personal story. Some time back, because unemployment and stuff, I decided to become a cross-border trader, selling sheets, Egyptian cotton sheets, during that wave where these sheets were coming from Botswana. So I went with Tsitsi to Francistown on a bus, and then we bought those sheets, and I asked my mom for the start money. I think I only went on 2 trips, if I'm not mistaken. And I said to Mom, you know what, I'm going to pay you back. And I think I still owe my mom $100 if I'm not mistaken. And you know what, I didn't take it seriously because I didn't feel the pain of actually, coming up with the money. I think I could have done better. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is very true.
Yeah, so people, we own a lot of things that are able to help us go on another level. So
Sure.
that's the blank side of the young, especially young youth in Africa. We have a lot of things that are not necessary at the moment.
Yeah, very true. I think it's just societal pressure. So now that we are talking about all of that, it brings me to a book called The Tetrad of Positive Affirmation, because we are now talking about limiting beliefs. Just give me a rundown about it, because I am a firm believer in positive affirmation. So maybe you can just give us a little bit of an insight of the book, The Tetrad of Positive Affirmation.
All right. On that book, it's a co-authored book. We wrote it, 2 guys and two ladies and 2 gentlemen. So each one of us had to tackle a certain topic that he is a bit familiar with and he has know-how of. So I wrote about positive affirmation. That's where I came into play. I wrote about that's, as people, as individuals, we have things like like what we were saying before. We have things that are unnecessary at the moment. We have unnecessary pressure that is coming from our colleagues. We say peer pressure, but it's unnecessary pressure. Peer pressure is unnecessary pressure because we have pressure from people of owning certain things. Okay, let me just give you a testimony before we move on. Some years back, I purchased a Mercedes Benz. And right now, I just want to lie to you. Right now, that car is in the car park. It's not even working and it's not moving. But that car is very, very expensive. I don't want to lie to you. So now I was telling people that you're a motivational speaker, you're a business coach and stuff, but when you speak, when we just want that, when I arrive at the venue and people say, no, now the presenter is here.
He has arrived.
Yeah, you see, he has arrived. When they see the Mercedes Benz, at the same time, the phones that you'll be using it. I said, no, those are flashy things. And I'm now seeing it right now. I don't even want to own those kind of things, but they are flashy. One, you can't own a Mercedes Benz while you are paying rent to someone else's house. You don't have your own house, your own apartment, you're paying rent, but you own a Mercedes Benz, which you can use it to buy a stand, or you can pay deposit of buying a house. You see?
Yeah.
They need common sense.
Yeah, I definitely believe you in what you're saying, because I've attended some leaderships online seminars and stuff, and the thing that most coaches use is to sort of like portray to you a life that you desire, to sort of like encourage you to take the right actions. So somehow, maybe in leadership and coaching, there is that, pressure. And also coming from us people who are being coached, I think it's believable for a person to tell me that, you know what, if you want to be a successful leader, or let me just say a Bitcoin trader, you know, you have to agree, and they have the Range Rover to match it up, and the latest phone and the latest MacBook and all of that. But I think you are right, because it's what you're doing. I would say that it becomes more relatable, and to the ordinary person, it means whatever it is that they are aiming for is much more reachable. Because I think most people start these journeys, they invest in seminars and being coached, but they give up along the line because the bar is set and so unrealistically high where you are right now. And you are trying to say, you know what, it's here first, and then you go there, and your journey, I think, is going to express the truth about it, because most people then come out in the open and want to publicize themselves when they've made it and they are like in 7 figures, 8 figures, you know. But that's one thing that I really appreciate about you, that we are seeing the humble beginnings.
You see, I'm working on my profile right now. You know, when I started, we used to write leadership coach, motivational speaker, the founder of Chakati, having titles, many titles and titles and titles. Right now, if you look at my Facebook, I'm working on my titles. Instead of when someone comes on my wall, goes at my wall and saw those long profiles and say, no, this guy might be something else. You know, social media is actually destroying us. At the same time, it's helping us. Because when people hear that Blessmore Mandevhana is coming to Karibo or to Blaal, right, they look at my profile at Facebook, and they say, no, there's a big guy who is coming. Yet I'm nobody. I'm not yet at that level where I have to match my profile with Strive Masio. We are different. So I think us as well, motivational speakers, again, and the motivational speakers who are coming in, I know there are some guys who are coming in from high school and say, I'm a leadership consultant, leadership chaka. I'll be watching them and say, no, okay, let them go. But one day they're going to stumble on something else. Why? Because there's no way you are going to go if you say, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a business coach, business coach, and you do so 1, 2, 3 things. Yet your
it's not.
All right. So I was saying, people are just coming from high school and they think that they're going to coming from high school and now he's a leadership coach. How? Coming from high school, because he was a prefect, a school prefect, because he was a school class monitor, and say, no, if I go into the world, I'm going to be leadership coach, a business coach. Yet you don't have the skills. You're not yet trained to do certain things. So that's why you see people, they say, youths, they are full of energy, but in the mind, they have nothing. They have nothing in the head. Full of energy. And you know what? Yes, we blame our country, our nation. We are saying youth, you are not given chance and what, but it's because Zungu that no chance of Zimbabwe.
Okay, just to translate that, it's in a way you're trying to say that the youth are usually expressed as being a little bit dizzy and airheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're saying that Zungu that we have, it's speed. We rush success. That's the problem that we have as youth. So when I venture into a business this year, I start in January. By December, I should have a Range Rover. That's the use for you. That's the use for you. But people, they don't know that it takes. That's why you see the jails right now. We have criminal records. They're young people. Why? Because we can't afford. We want to live a life that we can't afford. Yet there are steps that we have to take bit by bit. So I was working on my profile where I was adjusting certain things, removing other things. Because when people see my profile and they go through my profile, they say, someone big is coming, and already they set standards, right? I know that I'm big. When I'm speaking, it's okay. But let not people set standards that I cannot even, and give me shoes the sizes that I cannot even wear. You see. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, just to close this off, I'm gonna ask you some rapid fire questions, just fun facts about you. So you just with one answer, and here we go. What is your all-time favorite book?
Transformation of Leaders.
But that's your book.
not my book. that one is not my book. It's by James Scott from UK.
Okay. And then best publisher worldwide that you think is the best publisher so far? I know it's a hard one.
All right, there is. It's a hard one. Okay, the best publisher so far that I know is Greater Heights from America. That's the Greater Heights publishing house.
Okay, would you rather be a millionaire or just a famous coach?
I'll be a famous coach. Millions will come along the way.
Okay, what's your favorite color?
Red.
Your best go-to music?
Music, no.
You don't have any genre of music that you like?
No, music I don't have.
Okay. What do you prefer? This one is a hard one. I'm sorry. Lady writers versus male writers.
That one, does it need a one-word answer?
Okay, just one word and probably explain yourself.
All right. Male. No, I prefer both.
Okay.
I prefer both, but I think I have to explain this.
Okay.
All right. There is a difference. In fact, they are not difference. Like it's the same as the issue of equal rights, human rights. Like the ladies and we are in the same. Is the same issue. I believe. Okay, I actually believe that male and females we are in the same boat.
Okay.
So there's no for us to fight for human rights. So I know there are people out there who are going to
okay, so it's safe to say that you don't have a preference, which is okay. Apple versus Android.
Android, definitely.
Really? Okay, dream car.
Yeah, Android. I'm a Mercedes-Benz.
Okay. Okay, attending a seminar versus speaking at a seminar.
Attending a seminar.
Okay. Favorite
I love
food?
attending seminars. Favorite food, that's spaghetti with chicken and salads and some lettuce, what.
Oh my God. What's your favorite show?
Okay, favorite show, there's Tipping Point. Tipping Point is my favorite show and the CEO Under 40.
Okay. And what's your favorite hymn?
Hymn. I just know the song.
Yes, that one. What's this? Amazing Grace.
Yes, Amazing Grace.
All right, Blessmore. I mean, you've been a wonderful guest. I really enjoyed our chat today, getting to know more about you and the great work that you're doing regarding leadership in Southern Africa and beyond. And I look forward to seeing you going global in the next 5 years. I'll be watching you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you for having me.